So, once upon a time, when I was living in a small village near Lublin with my friends, I went to sleep in broad daylight. And I had a beautiful dream, telling me much about my origins. In this dream, I conversed with a Hellenic lady in Hiton and a toga, a fair, grey-haired old damsel. And we conversed about philosophy and many matters. And in this dream she asked me, "Who are you, really?" In an instant I was transformed into complete blackness, with monolithic structures climbing gargantually above my little mortal flesh. I found myself naked, completely naked, and I was standing in front of a large cube, black cube. There was a blade that touched my spine, encouraging me to enter this black cube. And I've heard "Welcome back to Jotunheim" in the language of ideas. Therefore I entered into the cube, and what I found there were 2 stone sarcophagi. And I was looking at the sarcophagi, and they were empty. And in a moment I realized that these are the daughters, Alpha Noir and Omega Alba, that I was supposed to have with my beloved wife. But because she was destroyed and my daughters wouldn't occur in this life, I fell into a great grief and sorrow, something that was transcending my current life, as if I would lose my 2 daughters before a long time ago. So I fell to my knees, holding the sarcophagi in great pain and sorrow and woe that was overcoming me like waves of tremendous torment. And I observed the stars. The first constellation I've seen from Saturn and Jotunheim was Aesir, the constellation Auriga. And according to Nordic tradition, that is where the old Ragnarok happened in the stars. Whether it was a cosmic battle of forces or something else, I do not know. But I believe that mythologies sometimes may convey echoes of long lost things in the stars. And we as humans are only recreating those echoes in variations, telltales, stories, folk tales, on a miniature scale, as apes that barely crawled out of the caves and started to be civilized. Well, I realized that the life's dream and walk won't be fulfilled, because I was destroyed day and night, unidentified, identified, political, religious business. One thing I know is that I suffered so much and overcame it heroically, like an Arya should, that I will leave this world only with curses behind for everything that didn't happen and everything that did happen. I don't want to spit back. But I want to go from Sun Saturn back to my domain, to forget about it all. This one instance of mortal life in a sea of other lives I led throughout the stars. And I want to remember only the epitomized ones, the greatest, the best ones, the eudaimonic and heroic ones. As for this life, this flesh incarnation, I was promised I will never be born again in organic form. Millions and millions of lives ahead of me, disincarnate as a force, as a power, as a sorrowful song amongst the stars. As far away from Earth, prison, planet, that was made into prison, and those rats.